Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuouki Zuisoroku, the fan disc material from the first game, or the extras added to the PS3 version. Today we are doing Okita Memories of Love Part 6. Sorry it's been so long since I did the last video for this, but yeah, I really needed a break. I don't know if I'm going to be regular again yet or not. I'm going to try to be, but things have been a bit rough lately. I'm not sure if I'm going to be missing some days or not, because time's been just weird. Oh, and since it's been a while, this might be a little rough of a recording, but hopefully not, we'll see. Maybe I'll just fall right back into it easily. All depends. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. May 1868. When the protagonist awakes in the forest, it's already evening. Distraught by Kondo's death, Okita has been unable to sleep. Out of a desire not to hurt him further, the protagonist avoids the subject, but Okita begins to tell her about some of his memories of Kondo. So we can't win, can't stay away from that.
This feeling. I feel like my heart's about to break, but I'm happy.
I know that feeling. He leaned close to my ear and whispered that he had suddenly felt he had to hold me. His words were heavy with emotion. Even though it was hesitant, his voice was kind. I caught a glimpse of blush on his cheeks as he drew me into his embrace and smiled to myself. I had touched his heart, and that made me happy. His name drifted, whispered across my lips as I lost myself in his arms. A good place to be lost. May 1868. We had returned to Edo, only to find that the chief had been captured by the Imperial Army. Okita knew that even he wouldn't be able to save Kondo on his own. We had to change course to follow after Hijikata, who had led the rest of the group northwards. During the trip, we reunited with Yamazaki, who told us that Hijikata and the Shinsengumi were at Utsunomiya. Okita pushed himself forward, suffering through the demands of his fury blood and the spasms of his tuberculosis. He had been very fond of Kondo. Although there had always been tension between Hijikata and Okita, the commander was important to him as well. He was determined to meet with him again. It's almost like they were brothers, just always grudgingly respectful of each other. Their reunion was marked by a good deal of shouting and name-calling. I knew both of them were deeply hurt by Kondo's death. Perhaps they fought instead of crying, because fighting was what made them comfortable. That's a brotherly relationship. Once they had said everything they needed to, Okita made the decision to leave the Shinsengumi. He promised me that we would make for the ancestral home of the Yukimura clan. It was a new journey together, but our hearts were still heavy from all that had happened. Then, one evening in the forest, he told me a story. A sad one. Memories of Love Part 6. May 1868. You guys need some more happy stories. When I awoke, the sky was already beginning to darken. Nighttime is the right time. I rubbed my eyes and turned to see Okita smiling down at me.
Oh, morning, Chizuru. Sleep well?
Yes, but did you get any sleep?
No, not really. It just didn't happen.
That's not good.
Well, I've got too much on my mind, you know.
What? He didn't seem to be taking it very seriously, but as I opened my mouth to scold him, he smiled. Don't you smile at me, young man, listen.
Besides, if we both slept at the same time, who'd keep watch?
We gotta take turns. Well, you could have woken me up. We could switch off. Exactly.
I don't need as much rest as you, right?
Well then, let me take 1/3 of the shift at least.
So, doesn't it make sense that I stay up?
Not the whole time. He was right. I was still struggling with being a fury. I had to push myself every day just to keep moving. But he was a fury too.
Well, now that you got some sleep, shall we get moving?
No. He raised an eyebrow. And has a little sweat drop. How did he not realize that he had to sleep? Even if he felt alright at the moment, it would take its toll sooner or later. I'll keep watch this time so you can get some sleep, okay? We've got a long way to go. I know you can last longer than me, but... Sorry? Last longer than me, huh? But it's going to catch up to you eventually. He surprisingly twisted into a bitter smile.
How many times have we had this conversation? I look out for you, and then you worry about me.
Okita.
Thanks. I know you're trying not to talk about bad stuff. I appreciate it.
He looked down, and I could see something melancholy in his eyes.
I'd like to tell you a story. I'll get some rest while I'm telling it, so don't worry. Anyway, this is about the first time I met Kondo.
Well, at least lay down while you're telling the story then. Lay your head in my lap. Okay? I didn't want him to feel alone, now especially, so I moved in closer. He smiled as I did, but said nothing. He didn't have to. So, what was he like?
Pretty much the same. He's always had a soft heart. He cried a lot. Oh!
His voice was soft and more tender than I usually heard it.
Before he inherited Chie Hall, he was always taking the blame for everything. Say everybody got drunk in the afternoon, or went out at night and started some fights. Kondo wasn't responsible, of course, but he was the one apologizing when the hammer came down.
Yeah, I can see that. It wasn't hard to imagine who had been causing trouble. Gee, who could it have been? Or Kondo standing up for them.
He has that, charisma. Everybody just likes him. I think I really respect that.
Yep, everybody does. You're a lucky guy. But, really, he's lucky because I'm here. To actually get to meet someone you can respect that much. I decided to be honest. I think you're really lucky.
Oh, why is that?
He raised a lazy eyebrow. When I met the Shinsengumi for the first time, I thought I had really bad luck. I couldn't think of any reason to hide that. In a way, they'd probably thought the same thing. But now I realized that I was actually incredibly lucky. I learned so much from you guys. And I'd met Okita. That was the luckiest thing of all.
Maybe. Well, I guess I was pretty lucky to have met Kondo.
And me. He looked off into the distance for a moment, and then began to talk.
If he'd wanted me to, I would have died for Kondo. In a minute. I believed in him. You know what that's like? To feel like you're part of this bigger, better life? Well, that's what he gave me.
Okita, I want to do that for you. He refused to cry. I saw him swallow hard and shut his eyes, but no tears fell.
Fate's a funny thing, isn't it? I guess what I'm saying is, I already know how lucky I am. I mean, I got to meet you.
There you go. Thank you for appreciating me. What? What are you saying? He grinned.
I wonder, what do you think you gave me?
Me?
No hints. You'll have to figure it out yourself.
Oh, she'll never say it. She's too modest. He grinned mischievously, and I was too shaken to respond. What was he trying to say? Well, don't be clueless.
Chizuru.
I looked up.
I cared a lot about Kondo, and it hurts like hell that he's gone. Believe me, but... Well, I've got another reason to fight now. Something that keeps me going. So, I'm gonna be fine. My heart's not as fragile as you think it is.
Maybe he was right. But I couldn't help but feel that he was still hiding something from me. I sighed silently and looked down.
I'm worried about what Calder might be up to. We still got a long march ahead of us. I know you're probably freaking out a little bit, but you're not alone. You've got me with you.
I still don't see the reason to hurry. We're not trying to catch up to anybody. You might be worried about Calder, but I don't think, resting a little is going to mess anything up. He slipped his hand into mine and squeezed. I looked up and our eyes met.
Whatever's waiting for us up there, we can get through it together.
Yes, darling, we can. The sound of his voice scattered all the dark thoughts that had been crawling out from the corners of my mind.
I want you to trust me. I won't break this promise.
Okita. I nodded deeply. Yeah, just the two of us. We could do it together. As long as I had his hand in mine, I could go anywhere. No matter how difficult or painful the battle ahead might be, we would triumph. We would reach out and grasp the future we dreamt of. I was sure of it. Oh man, I was so short. Okay, well yeah, of course we're going on to the next one. I forgot, I read 2 per video now. Okay, so on to Okita Memories of Love 7. June 1868. The night before the battle, Okita and the protagonist talk about their feelings for one another and kiss, which embarrasses the protagonist. Okita makes fun of her for it, and then they talk of what each first thought of the other, and spend a long and happy moment together. Yay, a happy time! We need more of those. No tears!
You need somebody who's going to be strong for you, and I'm way too stubborn to ever throw in the towel, so...
We can be strong for each other. His hand seemed to shake as he drew me near, as if I was something fragile he was afraid to break. The love in his voice made my heart swell. I'd lost sight of hope until he opened his heart to me.
I'll kill you.
Yep, that's his sign of affection. You know he loves you if he tells you that constantly. I never thought those words could sound kind, but I knew now I'd never forget them. In the warmth of his lips against mine, I could feel that he loved me. When he held me, I knew how much I meant to him. When a man loves you enough to tell you that he'll kill you. June 1868. We had reached the ancestral lands of the Yukimura clan, only to encounter Kaoru, my evil twin. That encounter had uncovered memories I'd long kept hidden from myself, screams of agony and the silence of death. Humans had destroyed our village and slaughtered our people, and as I remembered that horrible day, my heart began to waver. Kaoru saw and did not waste the opportunity. He told me that he intended to use the water of life to build a nation of furies and take back what we had been denied. That nation, however, would be built on thousands of human corpses. You naughty boy, you. He said Okita was welcome to come with him as well. Would that mean a life with the man I loved and my family? Yeah, but lots of dead humans. Kaoru's scheme was brutal and horrific, but for a moment I was tempted. Okita, however, never blinked, and in my moment of weakness he helped me to see my way forward. He reminded me of what was most important, something I was close to losing sight of. I wanted a life with him. After that, there were no more doubts. It was one special moonlit night that our hearts became one, and we looked forward to our future. Ooh, do we do more than kiss? Memories of Love, Part 7. June 1868. After that first kiss, we fell silent. The only sound was that of our footsteps and the occasional breeze. The silence was uncomfortable, and once or twice I opened my mouth to speak, but... Be brave, Chizuru! As soon as I remembered the warmth of his hand around mine, whatever words I prepared fled into the night. Ah, the distraction.
Chizuru.
Huh?
So you noticed me sighing? I don't want to be a jerk or anything, but, you think maybe we could talk or something? I mean, given where we're heading, our future probably isn't all sunshine and rainbows right now.
Oh, ever the optimist, eh?
But every time we, do something, you get all quiet. It's not fun.
Oh, sorry. It wasn't like I wanted to just walk in silence. I wanted to talk too, it was just hard. Anyway, don't worry about it, we can talk.
Really? Good. Man, I'm totally awake right now. Don't think I could sleep if I wanted to.
I could think of some other things we could do. He looked up at the sky. Something in his profile looked sad, and I swallowed. Let me make you unsad. We'd nearly reached my hometown. If we took a short rest and got back on the road as soon as we woke up, we'd likely arrive by the next day. But someone would be waiting for us. Someone unpleasant. You. Kaoru, my brother. And the man who I consider my father for most of my life, Kodo. Come to the light side, you two. We would be there to put an end to their dreams of a fury nation. Perhaps I felt guilty because I was realizing my own dreams, even as I helped to destroy theirs. Did Okita feel the same?
Hey, don't look so worried. We know what we're doing. It's just...
Just what? For a long moment, the silence returned. Okita scratched at his head, then finally gave me a crooked smile.
I'm not afraid of anything, and I'm not nervous about what's waiting for us, even though I know it's probably going to be a big fight.
Yeah, he loves fights. Of course it wouldn't make him nervous.
It doesn't matter who I'm up against. I never think I'll lose, so I never hesitate.
I know. I knew all of that. I'd seen Okita fight plenty of times. His swordsmanship was beyond compare, and he maintained focus under pressure like no one else I'd ever seen.
I never really thought about what I was doing before, because all I wanted to do was whatever Kondo wanted. It didn't matter how dirty the job was. I did it, and I was proud of it. But now he's gone, and I have a different reason to draw my sword. You.
I'm so happy to be your reason.
I made that choice, and I don't regret it or question it, but...
But what?
I never used to think about anything past that. Past fighting, I mean.
I didn't know what to say. Well, heading into new territory.
I wasn't trying to get myself killed or anything dramatic like that. And I don't think I was really what you'd call pessimistic, but the truth is, that guy I used to be never thought about the future. It really didn't matter to him. The only thing on his mind was how he was going to make himself useful to Kondo.
At last, I began to understand what had been bothering him. The fight waiting for us and our reason for walking into it wasn't what he was used to. He has to change his MO now. If we want to have a life together, if we want to have the time to have a life together. He nodded.
Well, this is the first time I've fought for my future. It feels weird. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not worried about losing because I'm going there to win. The thing that worries me is what comes after that. Once we're done fighting, where will we live?
Anywhere we want. Oh. That was true. It wasn't something we'd really thought about. Finding a place where we could live in peace wouldn't be easy. Okita was a recognizable, albeit former member of the Shinsengumi, and they weren't exactly popular. You're right. I wasn't really thinking that far ahead.
Yeah, well, it's not like I am. More like... crap. It's not really about where we're gonna live. I'm happy to live anywhere. More like... Hey, Chizuru.
Yes? It seemed as if he was about to say something, but instead he simply stared at me. Seconds ticked by as I waited for him to speak, but as I did, my heart began to pound faster, and I could feel color rushing into my cheeks. I could see a spark deep in his eyes, and once I noticed it, I couldn't look away. Kiss me, you fool!
Are you trying to shut me out?
No, I'm listening to you. Don't be mean.
Mean?
He laughed.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that's probably something I'd do.
Huh?
Chizuru, if I said I wanted to kiss you again, would you let me do it?
Of course. What? Where did that come from? Well, he's the guy you like, and he likes you, so why not kiss? What are you talking about?
Huh? Weren't you listening? That's not really the answer I was hoping for. Look at that look on his face. Can we do this or not? You gotta pick one.
It didn't seem fair for him to make me say it out loud like that. You know he's teasing you. Still, I knew he wouldn't let me get away with trying to weasel out of giving an answer. Of course not. So... depends on the situation. Tease him back. Well, I guess it depends on the situation. I wasn't quite ready to give in to him. That's right, give him a taste of his own medicine.
Oh, well, like what?
Huh?
Giving him for instance. Oh, what's the right situation? I need to know.
It's not gonna be that easy for you, Chizuru. Well... My determination was rapidly slipping away. Well, I stumbled over my words again, and Okita laughed.
Well, I admire your tenacity. Well, you still don't have the guts to follow through on it. What am I gonna do with you? You don't give me a choice.
He reached out and grabbed my arms. Huh? Wait!
Hey, be quiet.
Picture! His face was close to mine. Very close. I tried to pull away, but I couldn't. What are you doing?
Maybe you should find a guy with a kinder heart. He might make you happy.
No one can make me happier than you. What? His tone was suddenly melancholy, and I forgot about trying to back away. The spark I'd seen in his eyes before was gone.
I think I'm just going to end up being a lot of trouble for you. But I still can't bring myself to let you go.
Good. I don't want you to. The wry smile disappeared. When I looked into his eyes, I felt I could see his hopes and dreams, but also his fears.
I think I'm going to end up making you sad, whether I want to or not. Even if I can give you a future, I don't think it'll last very long, and I don't know what's waiting for you after that.
His voice shook almost imperceptibly. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I want you now.
But I still want to stay with you. I know it's probably going to hurt you, and I shouldn't. but I can't give you up.
It was hard to miss the tragic reality he left unsaid, but just as I opened my mouth to speak... Hooray!
No,
his kiss said.
I know what you mean to say, and I don't wish to hear it.
He felt different than before somehow. More bittersweet. He didn't fear battle. Even against my brother, he would draw his sword without hesitation. But he moved, and for a moment I could feel his fear. He was afraid for the future itself, the future that we were fighting for. This kiss was a question, one he was afraid to ask. So as we drew apart, I spoke. Of course I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you for being mean to me, and even for kissing me. He doesn't need forgiveness for that. That was a gift. I'd probably even forgive you if you made good on your threats and killed me someday. Yeah, that's something to really be forgiving about.
You, really? You would?
I nodded. He looked as if he was about to cry.
Oh, you'd still cry, though.
I might, but I wouldn't mind shedding a few tears for you.
Damn, that one got me right through the heart.
Well, you're always saying you're going to kill me, right? I guess we're even now.
You. What am I going to do with you?
Love me. Then finally he smiled, and all the rising darkness in his eyes disappeared.
Well, let's get some sleep. I don't think we'll get another chance to rest.
He let out a relieved sigh, and I smiled back. Are you actually going to sleep and not stand guard? We would make our dreams into reality. I closed my eyes and prepared for battle. There was still a long, difficult road ahead of us, but I knew that when we awoke, we would head for my hometown hand in hand. No matter what waited for us there, so long as the man I loved was beside me, I knew I had nothing to fear. So long as we were together, we would be okay. That was what my heart told me, and I believed it. And we believe in Okita. We'll be happy as long as we're with him. Alright, so the next video will be the last episode on here with Okita. I think we did Kazuma next? Yeah, so I think we gotta open him up, and then we do Saito. Alright, so hope to see you there for our last video with Okita for this series. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye, everybody.